Hello, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome everybody to our patching podcast. Our patching podcast features X39 stem cell activation. This evening, I have my lovely co-host, Wendy Morgan, and myself, Kathleen Nichols. And we are going to be together for the next half an hour. And it's going to be a lovely half an hour where you learn about all kinds of amazing technology, most specifically, our X39 stem cell activating patch. And I just really want to welcome all of you here that are here for the first time. I love to welcome all of our family and the veterans that come on every day of the week, Monday through Thursday. So welcome back. Thank you for joining us. But really a warm welcome to all the new people here this evening, because what that really tells me is that somebody in your family loves you so much that they care about your health, and they've invited you here to check out this new revolutionary technology. And it could be that you are in the family, that you are a friend, or even maybe you're just an acquaintance and they met you at the grocery store this evening. But here at Lifewave, we spread the love and we invite everybody here. So thank you for showing up, and thank the person that invited you here to hear about our stem cell activating patch. So what we're going to do for the next 30 minutes is we're going to have the lovely Rose and the lovely Maria come on and tell their stories about what life was like before the patch and what life like is after. So that's just real people telling real stories. Those will be our two lady guests this evening, and Wendy will be interviewing them, and then she'll send it back to me, and I'll tell you about the technology. I'll tell you about David Schmidt and how he figured out how to activate our own body through light, and that'll be really exciting. And then I'll also tell you how you can get your hands on this amazing revolutionary technology. So just to kind of begin with, I just want to say David Schmidt, our CEO, he's our CEO, he's our inventor, and he's the owner, and he is a visionary. So about 10 or 12 years ago, he was looking into the future and he thought to himself, I think that the future of medicine is regenerative, right? Let's really stop that aging process. And so at that point, he sunk millions of dollars into research and development. And what he discovered is what's bringing us all together this evening. He discovered how to reset, how to activate, and how to produce new stem cells through light therapy. So this is really exciting. We're all very excited about it. But before we jump into this, I just want to say our medical disclaimer. We say it every podcast. And although we do have many doctors on our team, we do the disclaimer, and it goes like this. The information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Our patches use light therapy and allow your body to heal itself. So now that we have that out of the way, I'd like to invite the lovely Wendy Morgan up, and so that she could interview our two peeps for this evening. Wendy?
Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. I'm not even going to tell you the date because those that follow Christmas will probably remember. But welcome. We have actually 3 people today. Potentially, we'll see how our time goes. And we're going to start out actually with Rose. Rose, if you could please unmute yourself.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Rose.
Kath. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous now. Thank Lifewave, and of course, thank God. So my story it goes back 50 years, a minimum of 50 years. I was diagnosed at age 25, and I will be 76 next month, and with rheumatoid arthritis. And I could write a book on the medications that the doctors have put me on over the years. My hands show the disease, what it's done to my hands over the years, and I'm grateful I can still use my hands. But 1971, I was diagnosed, and I was put into the hospital for 2 weeks. And back then, they didn't know how to treat RA. And you know what? They don't know how to treat it today either, unless they get on the patches. And so I was on for 2 weeks in the hospital with pumping me full of gold shots. And from there on, over the years, I was on the medications. They advertise on TV infusions of causes death or cancer. I've been to Mexico a couple of times. I've been on drug studies, you name it. And so from about 2016 to 2019 and into 2020, right at the beginning of COVID, I really was having a tough time handling life because my pain was so excruciating. There'd be many times my skull would actually swell. I couldn't turn my head to the left and the right. My neck was so like a vice grip on it. My shoulders were so bad. My husband had to pull a sheet up over me at night. I had to wear a support on my left knee. I had to go up and down steps carefully with one step at a time. I had sciatica severely in my lower back. I had a big cyst on the inside of my left elbow. I even had a cyst on my bottom. And like I said, I went to Mexico in 2019 and I couldn't go back again until 2020, but then COVID hit and there was no traveling to Mexico. The treatment in Mexico was stem cells from a sheep, or bovine sheep stem cells. That's what all we could afford at the time. And it lasted short, it was short-lived. And so it was in February of 2020, I was praying and asking God to take me home. I was so exhausted from pain over the last 3-4 years. And I was just tired. I said, either take me home or show me what I can do. And, I went on Facebook and there was a friend that we kind of lost contact over the years. We were in the health and nutrition years ago. And she posted that she was pain-free. And that's all I needed was to, I reached out to her and I said, I need to know what you're doing, Kim. She told me. And so my husband heard, he was on the phone and he said, we're going to order the diamond pack because it's going to change our life and we're going to change lots of other lives. I said, are you sure? Because money was really tight. He said, I'm sure. So, okay, honey, we're going to do it. We got our first patches and we put them on March 3rd. And the very first day I was able to start using my left hand a little bit. I couldn't even pick up a piece of paper or a coffee cup, nothing. It was so bad. And as each day and each week went on, I just got, every day was more encouraged and more encouraged. And by the time I got some strength and some joy back, I put a conference call together and invited a bunch of friends. I made manager. And then that was in May of 2020. And then August, I made director. And that was first year. And then last year I went to senior. I went to director, senior executive director, and now I just made executive. And I'm so passionate to change lives. I can hardly stand it. I mean, from morning until night.
Right.
And it's awesome.
So Rose, so from the 70s is when you knew you first came down with RA, correct?
Correct.
So you've been feeling this for quite some time, and that's very debilitating mentally and emotionally as well.
Yes.
Not only physically. And so so you've been on the patches for about 21 months now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you've noticed that within the first month was the greatest ease to your condition, yes?
Yes.
Awesome. And since then, what's happening to you now? I mean, do you have any pain? Do you have any debilitation at all?
Well, I've got permanent damage, but I have so much energy. I can walk around where we live. We have like 1,000 homes here. I can walk around it in 30 minutes. I have energy all day long. My mental clarity, I mean, to be almost 76, I can just recall stories and tell stories to people. I mean, it's just, my mind is fast and sharp. My hair is thickened. Now, my friend said it's getting darker. I just got used to getting gray. Now it's getting darker again. So be it. Yeah. And I've noticed my skin has gotten softer, and the wrinkles are happier now.
I love that the wrinkles are happier. That's awesome. So you mentioned a while ago you have permanent damage. And remember, nothing is necessarily permanent to become your body's ever changing. And now you have stem cells. You know, instead of saying, I'd like to see how it's going to happen to that long-term damage. And I look forward to hearing how the happy wrinkles go into the happy undamaged there.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, so where do you live at, Rose?
Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona. I love that area. I've been there so many times. That's excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Rose, for sharing your story. That is really a touching story. I know a lot of people would be very happy to hear that there is definitely, some testimonies and a person's like your personal experience as far as feeling relief from RA, because that is a painful little bugger. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And we'll check back with you because we want to see how those unpermanent damages are coming along.
That's right.
All right, love, take care. All right, so next we're going to call on here Marie Brady. Are you on here? You could unmute yourself.
Yes, I am.
There you are. Hi, Maria.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
And it's Maria.
Working on is Marie, so I apologize, but I saw right here. Oh, it's Maria. So apologize.
No problem.
So Maria, if you could let everybody know, where do you live?
I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Nice.
I actually live in a little town outside of there it's called Inman.
Excellent. Sharon's having a really happy party with you. I guess she's right next to you. She'll be talking a little bit later. So how long have you been on the patches?
4 months.
Okay. And who introduced you to the patches? Oh, wait. Actually, no, stop there. There's a beautiful story behind this guy. So Maria, I'm going to let you take over from here. Share your beautiful, miraculous story, please.
It was miraculous. And I after listening to Rose, I think this is the night for divine intervention. But I had a bone disease for many, well, I knew I had a bone disease. I found out after COVID hit. But before that, I had suffered for years and years with vertebrae problems. And they wanted to do surgery on me. And I wouldn't let them. And so I went many years that way, suffering a lot. And so around May of 2020 is when I got out of bed one day. We were in the COVID lockdown at that point. And I woke up one day and got up and I couldn't walk at all. Couldn't put any weight on either leg. So I stayed in the house for 3 months. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. And so finally I gave it in and said, I'm going to have to go have something done. And that's when I found out that I had 2 bone diseases. And it was all in my lower back, my hips, my sacrum, all the way down to my tailbone. And they told me that they didn't think there was anything they could do for me. I was not surgery material anymore. Yeah. So anyway, I was having to walk. I got to where I could walk on a walker and a cane sometimes. And so I was just giving it to the Lord. I prayed desperately for 3 days straight in a row every morning. And on the 3rd day, I opened my phone to check out what was going on in the world. And this thing popped up, a show that I'd never been on before. It was called the Ghk Copper Show. And so it was saying there that they were getting ready to interview a lady that had the vaccine and had neurological damage from it. So I clicked on it to watch it. And about 5 or 6 days later, the man that runs that show, Ghk Copper, he was back on there and he was telling that somebody had listened to that same show that I had been on and had sent this lady a sleeve of X39, and it was a stem cell activator. Well, I got extremely excited because I knew right then that's what I've got to have. But he didn't tell anything about it or who sold it. I'd never heard of it. And so I went on a quest and I called everybody I knew and nobody had heard of it. and I was getting discouraged. And I did find it on the internet. I Googled X39 and it popped up, but it didn't tell me where to get it, or, how to find it, or who sold it. It didn't say anything about Lifewave. And so that night I was getting ready to go to bed, and my girlfriend called me from Columbia, and just a chit chat. And we started talking. I said, Bonnie, I got to tell you what I heard, and this is what I'm looking for. And have you ever heard of it? And she said, yes. I said, you have? And she said, yes. She said, my box just got here today. I said, well, do they work? She says, I don't know. I hadn't opened my box yet. I said, well, open it, Bonnie. So she sent me some samples the very next day, and I started using the samples. And on the fourth day, I woke up in the morning, went straight to my kitchen table where my little samples were to put my patch on. And when I got to the kitchen table, I was just like, whoa, I just walked in here. I walked from my bedroom to the kitchen, no pain, no cane, no walker. I was half asleep and didn't even realize I did it. So it was the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me in my life. It was just wonderful. God is good. He blessed me. And I don't know. I had suffered a lot of different conditions, and I had chronic fatigue. I had fibromyalgia. I had really suffered with a lot of pain. I had 10 years of suffering from incontinence. I definitely was having trouble sleeping. Half the time I had to sleep propped up. I only slept maybe 3 hours a night in intervals. Of course, from all of that, I was suffering depression, and I noticed my memory. I was having issues with my memory, but I think that was coming from the pain. And I also had eye issues that were getting worse and worse. And I had calcium on my optic nerves, and they couldn't operate on that. So in all those years sitting around with no cane, not being able to get up and exercise or move around, I gained a lot of weight. It was really depressing. So I'm just so thankful that I found X39. I will always have X39. And I knew that I'm like, if I have to sell my car in my driveway, I'm getting these X39s one way or the other. So,
so since you've been taking the X39, why don't you share a little bit about all those issues that you just got through listing off? How are they now?
Well, I'm walking. I've never had to use a cane again. I went to convention. I walked all over the place. I'm not saying that I know my bone disease is completely cured, but I know it's working on it, and I can walk, and I'm not in pain. It's amazing. It's just amazing. But right after I started wearing these patches, I had this amazing surge of energy. And I mean, nobody could believe it. It was just like my neighbors, my friends coming by, and they're like, what are you on? And I was just running around all over the place. And I was working in my garden again. I was able to get up and down, doing my own housework and so forth. Just like the Energizer Bunny. It was crazy how much energy I had. Well, I will say this, though. I was crashing at night earlier. I was a night owl because I couldn't sleep usually. So all of a sudden, I started crashing at like 8 o'clock at night. I would get so tired. I was just like, Maria, you got to go to bed. I'd never felt like I had to go to sleep like I did. And I slept like a log. I mean, I didn't wake up till the next morning. I wasn't getting up to go to the bathroom, which I was used to doing 3 times a night. It was crazy. And then I started noticing that I could feel, because I work in frequency and energy. So I'm really in tune with this mess I had going on. And I started feeling that something was going on with my bladder. And about 2 weeks later, I had no more bladder problems. It completely corrected my bladder problems. I mean, is that crazy or what?
That's awesome.
Just like I'm running around. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, all day long. I was so happy. I was sleeping good. I had the correction with the bladder, but I felt alive again. I mean, it was just like my depression was completely gone. I was so happy. I've been happy ever since. I'm ecstatic about this company. I can't even begin to tell you about how marvelous it is that David Schmidt was able to come up with X39. It's the greatest thing. And I'll use a lot of patches. I use them for all kind of different issues, but the X39 is the number one. You got to have it all the time.
Yep, it's like your foundation. And how's your memory then?
Oh, my memory cleared up. I think it's really almost 100% now. I'm not forgetting things, and I'm really thinking clearer now. I just feel great. I little by little, it took about 2 months for my memory to start getting better. Maybe 3 months, but 2.5 months. I went outside one day and I sat down and I'm thinking, man, I can't see. There is something really bad with my eyes, And I grabbed my glasses and I'm looking at them, and I looked up, and all of a sudden I realized that my left eye is 100% clear. I think I'm going to have to pop that little piece of glass out on the left side. But my right eye is still working on my right eye. That's the one that had calcium on the optic nerve. But my vision, farsighted and nearsighted, has completely corrected. The only issue I have now, and I know it's still working on my right eye. I can feel it. I literally feel it all day long. Something's going on there. So, and then when I went to convention and I got my sleeve of X39, well, that was the stuff, because I started wearing that right away, and I said I had
along with the X39, correct?
Oh yes, definitely with the X39, and so it was really exciting because I'd been trying to lose weight all year. I've worked so hard and couldn't lose a pound. No matter, I was starving and I couldn't lose. And I started wearing that X39, and Wendy, I lost 20 pounds.
Woo!
Already 20 pounds. Is that not too cool, y'all?
That is awesome. That is amazing. I mean, gosh, so damaged lower bone disease, 2 different bone disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, suffered with incontinence, trouble sleeping, depression, some memory issues, eye issues, weight gain. When they say, all disappeared. That is beautiful. But let's swing back around. This is all wonderful, guys, but I really want you to know just how divine this was. So you saw all this about on a radio show.
I didn't finish.
And you didn't finish, and then you're connected with your person, and then she went ahead and got you on the patches. So continue that story, please, because that will be your final closure.
That was the best part of all. I ended up enrolling and using those patches and sharing it. And one day I found out about Charity. And Charity is in my upline. Charity is the lady that called the radio show the day that I was listening to it. And she gave that girl a sleeve of X39, which, by the way, within like a week, this girl was completely okay again. She had really bad tremors and she was sad, but she used that X39. And I think it was a week or two, she was completely okay again. It was crazy. But what a miracle that I would end up in Charity's downline, because she reached out and touched somebody. She gifted somebody.
And touched you in an indirect way. And there you are right there with her, just the same. That is right there. Just divine intervention, baby. Divine intervention.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. That's
Maria, that with Rose and you, Maria, your testimony is just amazing. Thank you for your sharing your story, Maria. And same thing with you, Rose. And Maria, we're definitely going to check back with you, because I know you have so much more to share, because I looked at the rest of your email and I'm like, wow, she's got more. But we do have to move on. But thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
Kathleen, do you think we have time for one more? Do we need? Nope. She says nope. So we're going to come next week. We're going to have Sharon go and share her testimony on her torn rotator cuff. So those of you that are just brand new to this product or wanting to hear these stories, oh my gosh, amazing stories tonight, right? Heartfelt and yeah, like divine intervention, guys. What is this? What are we talking about? This little patch. Well, guess what? We got Kathleen. She's one of our wonderful, beautiful experts, and she's going to tell you all about it. Kathleen?
Okay, thank you, Wendy. I'm not sure about the expert part, but thank you. And wow, Rose, all the way from the 70s, like what's that, 30 years, and now you're pain free. That's amazing. Love your story. And Maria, we met at convention, and I love your story, girlfriend. It was just so amazing. So thank you to all the way from you not walking in 3 months, and now you're walking with no cane and you're pain free. All about the pain free. It's so good. So what are we talking about, people? We're talking about this little patch right here, and it's X39 stem cell activating patch. And so how does it work? Well, it's got organic amino acids, salts, crystals, and water in there. And so what happens is they actually form a crystal lattice, like a reflective substrate, if you will. And then when you put this patch on your body heat, which is actually on the spectrum light, it's infrared light. So your body heat is actually infrared light. So when you wear the patch, your body heat coming off of your body comes in contact with the patch, and the patch reflects it back into your body, stimulating your system to produce Ghk copper peptide. The Ghk copper peptide is actually really, really important in your body. It is a master signaling molecule, and it actually does all kinds of things. It keeps you young and vital and viral and youthful and all of those things that we want to embody as we move upper in our age. So it actually resets over 4,100 genes back to a younger expression. When you're wearing the patch in the first 24 hours, that resetting of the genes happens. Those 41 genes affect another set and yet another set. So Ghk copper peptide, with the elevation of it, wearing the patch, that's happening in the first 24 hours. It's also repairing DNA. And then what we're specifically talking about this evening is activating and resetting and producing stem cells. So stem cells are critically important. They literally are the foundation of our system. They're the blueprint, the template, like you name it, they are the building blocks of our system. So much to where that's how our body was created. Back when you were growing in your mama's belly, it was stem cells that differentiated, that made your brain, your spinal cord, your legs, all of it was all stem cells. And so they actually hold the intelligence of your body in perfect health and perfect balance. So when we wear the patch, we're going to reflect the light coming off your body back in. It's going to elevate Ghk copper peptide, and then it's going to produce the new stem cells. And those new stem cells are actually called pluripotent. And what that means is that they're blank. They have not decided what to become yet. So they're actually going to scan your body. They have that same innate intelligence that those ones that made your body way back when, that knew what to do. They have that same innate intelligence. So they're going to scan your body, and they're going to decide, I need to become a liver cell. They're going to decide, what is the priority here? What do we need to fix first? And they're going to actually prioritize those things, and they're going to put the first fire out. So say, for example, it's your liver. So they're going to turn into a liver cell. At that point, this is really where it gets super exciting, folks. At that point, that new stem cell that has become a liver cell is going to land on your old liver, and it's going to turn that liver new again, because it's the template for your liver. So we literally are reversing aging, setting that biological clock backwards, and repairing at the cellular level. It's absolutely revolutionary technology, repairing at that cellular level, like I said. So how do you wear it? Well, it's 12 hours on and 12 hours off. It's completely non-transdermal, because remember, I said it was just your light reflecting back into your body. It's absolutely your own body healing itself. Complete alignment with my values as a working in the healing arts. So that means it's non-transdermal, nothing goes into the skin, non-invasive, and it's just, like I said, body healing itself. So the thing of it is some people feel it, relatively soon, and some people don't. And that's because you might have something going on the inside, and it's going to go and repair that first. Like our good friend Bob Campbell, he had some results, but his amazing results weren't until like 6 months. So he knew that a patch was activating his stem cells and creating all the new ones and repairing at that cellular level. So he stuck with the program, knowing it was that cellular repair and regeneration. As a matter of fact, we really like to recommend 1 month per decade you've been alive for a trial basis, because that really gives you that really good sense of how it's going to activate your stem cells, produce your new ones, and start reversing your age, right? As a matter of fact, David Schmidt shared with us a research study that'll be published soon, and in 6 months, all of the 14 out of the 15 participants, their biological markers were reversed by 8 years. So after 6 months of use, they went back to 8 years younger in their biology. Absolutely amazing. And it's so important to put this little patch on your body and start activating all that good, yummy stuff, because at 35, you lose about 50% of your Ghk copper peptide. And then subsequently, you're going to lose about 50% of your stem cells going to make all that cellular repair. So that's at 35, 50% loss. Moving forward, at 60, you're about 80% loss. And so that's when you really start to decline, and you're really starting to have the effects of aging. But with the patch, you can just completely biohack that and start reversing your aging. So stem cells are so important that the New England Journal of Medicine actually says it's the #1 indicator of wellness is directly correlated to the number of stem cells in your bloodstream. So that's how critical they are. And once again, remember, we're getting that new stem cell that became a liver, we're putting it on old tissue. So new stem cell turns old tissue young again. So our company's called Lifewave. We've been around 17 years, and we have 94 patents, including, and this is where it gets really exciting, including 70 of them in regenerative science, regenerative medicine. So out of the 94, 70 of them are in regenerating our bodies. It's pretty remarkable. And yes, we are patented. X39 has its own patent. We got it really quickly because the patent office, what we submitted to the patent office was so demonstrative as far as the elevating the Ghk copper peptide and the production of the stem cells. So yes, we have X39 patented. It's one of those 70. So at any rate, we actually distribute globally. We're in 81 countries. And so we're just, reaching out, sharing health throughout the entire globe. We're very well established because, like I said, we're 17 years old, and X39 is relatively new on the center stage of regenerative medicine, just at 2 years old. So how are you going to get yourself this amazing patch? Well, you're going to get with the person who invited you here, and you're going to say, I'm going to say yes to my health. I want to get on this journey. Wow, this is amazing. This is what I've been looking for. And then they're going to tell you back, well, there's a couple different ways. So you could become a preferred customer, and that would mean that you get it for wholesale, and you're on a monthly subscription, and you also get to enjoy some of our sampling programs. You get to try the other supplemental patches out. Or you could come in with a distributor kit, and there's 5 different kits. We really like the silver one. That gives you 3 months supply, some for yourself, some for your family, and some to share, because you're really going to want to tell the world about this amazing results that you have. So there's 5 different kits, like I said. The more you spend, the more you get. So just get in where you fit in. And that's the 2 different ways to get it. And so what I'd really like to invite you to do is check out startx39.com. That's a comprehensive website that's got a couple videos about how the light works, how the patch works, some testimonials, all our clinical studies, our patents, some interviews from amazing doctors, including David Schmidt. And that's startx39.com. We do this every day of the week, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow, we will be having our lovely Amy and Beamy. So please tune back in to this amazing channel on health. So with that, I'd like to say good evening and aloha, everybody.
Hi, everybody.